south near Gaza. We're hearing reports that maybe that area has been taken back under Israeli army control, though there is some sporadic fighting. We are working to confirm those reports. Around 100,000 army reservists have been called up for service. We went to an army base near Tel Aviv where some of those people are showing up to report for duty. There were hundreds of cars left down the road in front of that center, people who had come to report for duty, to report for their call. We spoke to some of those soldiers. They were shocked and sad by what had happened over on Saturday. They couldn't believe that anything like that could happen, but they said that they were willing to do whatever it took for Israel to defend their country, though they hoped that this would be Israel's last war. Everyone we spoke to said that they did want peace. A ground invasion is expected, though we don't know any details of that, what it might be, when it might come. There are obviously hostages. We've heard reports of those hostages taken into Gaza. So in any calculations for what comes next by the Israeli army, the safety and security of those hostages will be paramount.
Haley, in terms of the hostages, the impact on civilians is part of what makes this situation so catastrophic. Are the majority of those hostages indeed civilians?
The truth is that we don't know very much about the hostages. They're being identified in large part by their families on social media. So people are in WhatsApp groups. There's a WhatsApp group I'm in, sort of a chat group, that used to be for people who were protesting against some of those judicial reforms that were being worked out here. That group has changed completely to only being accounts of people who are missing loved ones and asking for any information and offering to speak to whomever they can. So information is few and far between. There are centers that are being set up for the families of the missing. Dozens of people we saw at one of those centers. We spoke to two sisters. Their father had been taken hostage out of his home. The way that they knew that was because their mother was also in the house and she had been left there. They were very upset. Everyone was very upset. But one notable thing, too, is both at the army base that we visited this morning and at that center for the families of the missing, there were many volunteers who had showed up with food, with water, to do whatever they could to help their community at this time.
Beyond terrified and beyond being fearful for their lives, generally speaking, what has the reaction been that you've gotten from Israelis that you've spoken to?
People that I've spoken to never anticipated this happening. They had a lot of confidence in their army and their intelligence service, and they were very surprised that something like this could have occurred in the first place. Young people said they'd never experienced anything like this in their lives. I've spoken to some older people who said they've lived here for a long time. They're used to rockets overhead. They're used to the sound of booms. That's Iron Dome, Israel's defense system, intercepting those rockets. They're used to violence, to conflicts, but this is something new. This is something worse than they've ever experienced before. Some have compared it to their 9/11. The streets of Tel Aviv were really empty today. People were working from home, were staying from home, or were out volunteering or reporting for duty. So that's really being felt here on the streets.
And last one for you, Haley. We only have about 30 seconds left. Was there warning for this attack? We keep hearing that